If you're trying to get into cybersecurity and you feel completely lost, I know exactly why. You're probably learning a little bit of everything, but you're not actually building anything. In THS video amguir, step-by-step list roadmap for the next 90 days. We'll cut to learn in what projects to build importantly, how to actually start getting those interview calls in India. First things first, what does a SOC analyst actually do? Let's be clear, SOC is not about hacking. SOC analysts are the digital detectives of an organization. Their job is to detect suspicious activity, investigate alerts that pop up, and then respond by either documenting what happened, escalating it to a senior team, or containing the threat. Day to day, you'll be working with logs, looking at SIEM dashboards, analyzing alerts from endpoint protection, and using basic network clues like DNS records, IP addresses, and port numbers. If you enjoy investigations, solving puzzles, and connecting the dots, a SOC role is one of the fastest and most rewarding entry paths into the cybersecurity field. Okay, let's break down the big plan. It's a simple 3-month structure. Month 1 is all about foundations. We're talking networking and Linux essentials. Month 2 is where we build core SOC skills, understanding logs, SIEM basics, the MITRE ATT and CK framework, and developing a triage mindset. And month 3 is all about creating proof. This is where you build your home lab, complete to solid projects, polish your resume, and start applying for jobs. You don't need 50 different courses. What you need is a focus sequence and tangible proof of your skills. Let's dive into month 1, foundations. The whole point of this month is to understand what the alerts you'll be seeing are actually telling you. You need to speak the language of the network. Focus on the absolute networking basics. Start with IP addresses and subnetting, just the fundamentals. Understand how DNS works, how a website name gets translated into an IP address. Know the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. And get familiar with common ports and their services, like port 22 for SSH, 84 HTTP, 443 for HTTPS, 3389 for remote desktop, 445 for file sharing, and 53 for DNS. Next up, Linux essentials. You need to be comfortable navigating directories, reading files with commands like cat or less, and most critically, searching through logs using grep and watching live log files with tail. Remember, the goal here isn't to become a network engineer or a Linux sysadmin. The goal is to understand the signals and clues that will appear in your security tools. Now, for month 2, developing your SOC skills and thinking like an analyst. This month is all about context. We start with logs. You need to understand the concept of a timeline. Every log entry tells a story. A user on a device performed an action at a specific timestamp. Once you get that, we move to SIEM basics. A SIEM is your central command center. Learn how logs are ingested into it, how to run searches to find specific events, what the different fields in a log mean, and how alerts are configured and triggered based on certain rules. Next, you need to learn about the MITRE ATT and CK framework. Think of it as a universal dictionary for attacker behaviors. It helps you label what you're seeing, like initial access, persistence, credential access, or lateral movement. Finally, we get to triage. This is a critical skill. I want you to burn this rule into your brain. An alert does not equal an incident. Your job is to figure out if an alert is a real threat or just noise. Use a simple checklist for every alert. Who is the user involved? Which device is it? What specific action took place? Is this behavior normal for that user or device? And what evidence do you have to support your conclusion? That's how you investigate like a professional, not an amateur. Month 3 is where it all comes together. This is where you become employable because you will produce concrete proof of your abilities. First, build a basic home lab. It's easier than it sounds. Just set up a Windows virtual machine and a Linux virtual machine using software like VirtualBox. Generate some normal activity on them. Log in, log out, download files, run basic admin commands. This gives you a safe space to practice and generate logs. Then, you're going to create a portfolio projects. Project 1, a log investigation report. Create a simple scenario like a suspicious login. Collect the logs and screenshots, and write up a short report with a timeline of events. The evidence you found, your conclusion, and a recommended action. Project 2, a phishing investigation write-up. Find a sample phishing email online and write a report documenting all the red flags, what the attacker's goal was, and what steps could be taken to prevent it. Now, for your resume. Keep it tunbe no exception. Make your projects the strongest, most detailed section. Use a clear bullet point format. Did X using tool Y to achieve result Z, for example. Analyzed Windows event logs using a SIEM to identify and report on a brute force login attempt. That's the language recruiters and hiring managers understand. Portfolio projects are more valuable than a long list of certificates. All right, you've done the work. Now it's time for the job strategy. Start applying to roles that have SOC keywords in the description, like SIEM, log analysis, incident response, or EDR. Read the job description carefully and tailor your resume to mirror the language they use, without lying, of course. If they ask for experience with threat detection, you use the phrase threat detection to describe your project work. When you reach out to recruiters or hiring managers on platforms like LinkedIn, don't just say you're interested. Send them a link to your best project. Let your work speak for you. For interview prep, focus on explaining the basics clearly and confidently. Be ready to talk about how DNS works, how to spot a phishing email, the difference between hashing and encryption, and the main steps of the incident response lifecycle. So, let's recap your 90-day SOC Analyst checklist. Month 1 is all about networking and Linux essentials. Month 2 focuses on logs, SIEM, MITRE, and the triage process. And month 3 is for building your home lab, completing your 2 portfolio projects, perfecting your resume, and hitting that apply button. It's a focused, actionable plan designed to get you results. If you want the full, detailed weekly plan that breaks this down even further, just comment the word roadmap below, and I'll drop it for you. And if you're serious about building a career in cybersecurity, make sure you subscribe. Our Cyber Geek podcast is about to become a full career series dedicated to helping you succeed. Thanks for watching, and let's get you job ready.